The courtroom grows quiet as the judge brings down the gavel, eyes glinting on the stack of secret files before him. No one had any idea these papers were here. Until tonight, secrets that might destroy millions, betrayals deep for years, and a family once believed to be impenetrable hanging in the balance of collapse. Tonight, the truth will finally be out, and it's more shocking than anyone could have dreamed. Will Kody's dynasty fall apart, or will the wives' explosive truth switch things up for good? The judge leans forward, fingers knitted together, eyes on the thick folder of files just handed over to him. The courtroom is strained, near suffocating in its quiet. Kody Brown sits at the defense table, hands clenched tightly, jaw set. For years, the public has observed this family with intrigue, a polygamous dynasty, a reality TV poster family. Yet in private, secrets have been festering. And now, within this same room, the truth is fighting its way to the surface. The documents are antique, some with curled-up corners, some scribbled with notes and post-it marks that indicate deliberate tampering. The judge takes up the first document and begins to thumb through it deliberately. Gasps spread throughout the courtroom as the realization strikes like a bolt of lightning. These are not regular divorce papers. They are covert, tampered with, forged papers intended to transfer millions of dollars stealthily from one account to another, unbeknownst to both the wives and to the court itself. The tension is unbearable. Who knew? How deep does this go? And more importantly, who orchestrated it? Kody's eyes scan the room, locking with each wife's, one by one. Meri is rigid, gripping her notes as a lifeline, attempting to stay calm, but her quivering hands show her terror. Janelle's mouth purses in stony anger, Christine's eyes widen in shock, and Robyn, her face calm but unforgiving, sits in silence, her thoughts obviously spinning out of control. Each ticked second tenses the room further, as if the air itself is holding its breath. The walls of this court have witnessed secrets revealed before, but nothing as tragic as is going to unwind in the next minutes. The judge clears his throat, shattering the silence. These documents indicate a concerted effort to mislead this court and manipulate the assets division. He states with a somber face. His gavel rests above the table. We require complete transparency at once. Kody moves restlessly. He has the look of opening his mouth to say something, but words won't come. He has been the smiling face of control, the one who keeps the family together under the surface of calm, but even he senses the cracks starting to spread under the pressure of the documents. All the coalitions he believed were secure, all those carefully crafted schemes, are now under threat from these documents. The first hook in the middle comes as the lead lawyer for the wives slams a hand on the table. Your Honor, we have reason to believe these files were deliberately tampered with to deceive this court and manipulate millions of secret assets. The Brown family has the right to know who profited and was betrayed. A murmur crosses the room. Press pool cameras glance in through the gallery windows, already aware they are witnessing something far more newsworthy than a normal family conflict. The stakes are huge, and the emotional consequences may shatter decades of loyalty and trust in this family. Kody's mind runs. He remembers every word, every choice, every strategic decision he has ever made. Were they all founded on lies? He looks at Meri, who finally breathes loudly, eyes flooded with tears. Her silent despair is reflected in Janelle, who slowly shakes her head, jaw clenched in contained fury. Christine's lips compress into a thin line, and Robyn, unfaltering, looks directly ahead, inscrutable. The judge's hand lingers over the gavel again. More than a decade of evidence of fraud. Names, dates, transfers, all in plain sight. This is not merely about cash, this is about trust, betrayal, and the ruin of a family legacy. Who had any idea? And who will be punished? A chill passes through the courtroom. Everyone knows that nothing will ever be the same again. The viewers at home, through the eyes of the cameras, sense the tension gripping like a vice. Kody's empire, which was once untouchable, now shakes. Each wife has questions, resentment, and deep-seated hurt, waiting to burst. The initial hook for retention is a success. Audience members are leaning forward, clutching the edge of their seats. But the emotional roller coaster ride has just started. Kody changes position, breaking the silence at last. His tone is calm but subdued. I never meant to hurt anyone, he states, his eyes flicking nervously about. I thought I was doing the right thing, keeping the family intact. Meri's voice cracks as she cuts in, protecting, You refer to concealment of millions from your wives as protecting us. Her statement slices like a knife, resounding throughout the courtroom. The judge's eyes scan narrowly, and even the bailiffs exchange awkward glances. The second hook comes when Christine jumps up, pounding her fists on the table. That's it. We've been deceived for years, manipulated beyond our own ability to calculate. We trusted you, Kody, and all your decisions were deliberate. Secret, now, we get to pay the price. Gasps rise up. The suspense reaches a fever pitch. Robyn says nothing but her eyes flash with unstated calculation, indicating that she knows things, has plans, and possibly even secret betrayals. Every sentence, every look, every silence in this courtroom is a time bomb waiting to blow and destroy no one. The judge reclines in his chair, evidently weighing the implications of the disclosures. We shall move cautiously. Every file shall be reviewed, every transaction followed, and everyone responsible for it must be named. The gavel is brought down with a resounding blow that echoes through the chamber. Kody lets out a breath, relief and terror suffusing him. He knows the probe will expose far more than money mismanagement. The emotional cracks in his family, the trust, the loyalty, the love, may shatter irretrievably. Meri trembles, speaking softly to herself, almost inaudible. How could this happen? How could he do this to all of us? Janelle sits stiffly, hands clasped, attempting to keep her outrage in check. Christine writes notes frantically, intent on recording every word for proof. Robyn just observes, gaze cold, unreadable, analytical. The courtroom doors open with a flourish as the new lawyer strides in, holding an envelope that seems to hold yet more incriminating evidence. The judge raises his eyebrows at it. The air in the room is thick with tension. The next bombshell could alter everything. And just like that, the serenity is shattered. Nobody is secure from the reality anymore. The game Kody believed he had in his control is getting away from him, and the wives are poised to strike back. The tension remains suspended, unresolved, leaving the audience sitting at the edge of their seats, anticipating the next turn, the next betrayal. The envelope glides across the judge's desk. Its contents, unknown to all, are going to reveal secrets so explosive that even Kody can't begin to predict the fallout. The next court session will show who actually controlled the strings and how far-reaching the deception is. The courtroom lights seem chillier today. Shadows creep across the highly polished wooden floorboards, echoing the heavy atmosphere in the room. Kody Brown sits stiff in his chair, hands clasped in front of him, but there is a flash of doubt in his eyes. The judge rummages through the envelope brought in at the end of the previous session, his countenance blackening with each page. Whispers circulate in the courtroom like a wave rising from the ocean, attorneys adjusting in their chairs, bailiffs sharing apprehensive glances, and journalists standing by, feeling the story waiting to burst. The judge pauses mid-page, his words so low they're almost a whisper, but audible across the room. This changes everything. Suddenly all the secrets, all the secret accounts, all the whispered betrayals Kody believed were in the ground are brought back to the cold glare of examination. The Brown family, so carefully constructed for TV, now stands laid bare in raw, ghastly detail. Tonight, millions are hanging in the balance, but above all else, the ties of trust are hanging by a thread. Who will survive unscathed, and who will come apart with these revelations? Meri rocks back and forth in her chair, her hands shaking, her nails digging into the palms of her hands, as if she might somehow claw the truth back out of the darkness. Janelle's face sets hard. Her usually unflappable personality is fraying under stress. Christine hunches forward, her eyes a slitted glare, every muscle in her body coiled, while Robyn, silent, calculating, poised, sits with a near-eerie tranquility. She knows more than she says, and the room is aware. The judge demands order. We will proceed document by document. Each transfer, each change, each secret provision will be reviewed. The parties will respond. Kody breathes slowly, trying to keep himself in check, but perspiration forms on his forehead. For the first time ever, the flawlessly controlled exterior that he has kept intact for years feels fragile, ready to crack. The first middle hook strikes when the lead wife lawyer hauls out a laptop, casting charts, transactions, and photos of signatures obviously forged or altered. Your Honor, these documents reveal an intentional pattern that goes on for over a decade, the lawyer says, his voice climbing with emotion. Accounts were transferred, properties were conveyed, and key documents were forged, all to conceal the wives, as millions went missing. This is not only fraud. This is a family betrayal of monumental proportion. All the eyes in the courtroom are fixed on Kody, expecting a response, but the surprise is yet to arrive, one that no one expected. Kody shifts uncomfortably, glancing at each wife in turn. Meri's lips tremble, Janelle's eyes flash with anger, Christine scribbles notes feverishly, and Robyn, her calm stare unwavering, almost seems to be weighing every single word before responding. The tension between them is palpable. It's not just the courtroom anymore. It's every unsaid accusation, every resentment, every past slight now crashing into the present, like a storm. The second hook in the middle hits when the judge sharply gestures. One of these transactions, he continues, does seem to have been done on the day preceding a large family function, one that would have been shared by all the wives in equal measure. It was intended to conceal assets from certain members to benefit others. The room goes cold. The implication is breathtaking. Someone within the family had arranged this fraud knowingly, at a time when trust should have been greatest. Meri gasps quietly. Janelle's hands form fists at her sides. Christine's pen lingers mid-note, as she belatedly raises her eyes, comprehension dawning on her face. And Robyn, ever calm, shifts carefully in her chair, a wry smile playing at the edges of her mouth, one that speaks of secrets she may have been keeping, awaiting the right moment to disclose. The betrayal goes beyond financial. Each heart in this courtroom aches. Every partnership is now suspect, and the air is heavy with anticipation. The lawyers press on, each new revelation worse than the one before. Bank transfers, titles to property, secret accounts, all meticulously recorded, but obviously tampered with. Kody attempts to interrupt, but the judge's piercing gavel cuts him off, and it is clear this is no longer about defense, it's about revelation. Meri's voice shudders as she finally gets up. I trusted him. We all trusted him. And now I don't know what any of it means. Did he ever care about us? Her words cut through the room, ringing out loud and clear, raw and uncensored. Janelle points, indicating the papers. This isn't an accident, Kody. This is intentional. You assumed we wouldn't catch it. You assumed we'd let it slide. But the truth always prevails. Christine advances, her voice firm but biting. We want accountability. Not apologies, not excuses. Accountability. Robyn stands quietly, unspoken, but the expression on her face is one of patience, strategy, and intelligence that possibly even Kody has misjudged. She's observed the patterns, the manipulation, and she understands how to manipulate them back at him. The courtroom is in suspense, as the judge turns to the next page of documents, something much more explosive than the first set. The documents contain communications between Kody and some unnamed advisor, outlining plans to redistribute wealth and power within the family, all without the wives' awareness. The room goes still. The magnitude of this discovery is overwhelming. It's no longer financial dishonesty, it's psychological sabotage, a trust violation that strikes at the very heart of all relations. The wives look at each other, and they absorb the enormity of the deception in different ways. One misplaced word, one misplaced stare, could spark an argument that would alter everything. The very fabric of this family is coming under scrutiny, and all the viewers are left asking themselves, who is really innocent? And who has been acting on a deliberate game of lies throughout? Kody backs away, gasping unsteadily, attempting to take back command of the space. I was trying to protect everyone, he stammers. I didn't know it would look like this. Meri shakes her head, tears welling in her eyes. Protecting? By hiding everything? By letting millions vanish behind our backs? How is this protection? Janelle steps closer, voice rising. You've been living a lie, Kody. And now, the truth is unraveling in front of everyone. There's no hiding it anymore. Christine contributes, her voice cold. Every choice, every secret exchange, every falsified document, it all points to the same conclusion. We were lied to, and we have a right to know. Robyn finally interrupts, her voice steady, icily calculated. And we will find out, one way or another. The judge swoops forward, gavel at the ready. We are just beginning. The inquiry will go on. Each testimony followed, each move analyzed. This family needs to face the truth, completely and in public. The session ends on a collective nervous, with viewers eagerly waiting to see what happens next. The next session threatens even more revelation. Alliances strained, emotions laid bare, and revelations that can permanently shatter the Brown family. The judge orders the next hearing on a certain date. With the courtroom clearing, Kody and his wives look at each other, some with fear, some with rage, and some with calculating coldness. The actual storm is just waiting to break, and nobody has any idea who will be left standing when the truth eventually pours out into the open. The courtroom lights reflect a cold glare on the shiny table, mirroring the tension hanging heavy in the air. Kody Brown sits stiffly, shoulders hunched, his eyes flicking between the judge and each of his wives. The tension is almost palpable, a maelstrom of feelings just waiting to burst. Whispers spread like ripples across the audience as everyone is aware of the magnitude of what is about to be discovered. The secret divorce records from the earlier sessions were just the tip of the iceberg. Now the probe goes deeper, poised to dismantle the very foundation of the Brown family. The judge clears his throat, interrupting the strained silence. What we've found so far is just the tip of the iceberg. There are clandestine communication, unfixed agreement, and transactions that imply willful, albeit criminal in nature. Each and every one of this family's members might have been and tonight the walls these secrets stand behind will come crashing down. The room appears to hum with the gravity of the words. Kody's heart pounds. Meri clutches the arm of her chair, jaw clenched. Janelle's eyes blaze with fury. Christine creeps forward, pen poised, eager to record every detail. And Robyn, unreadable face away, observes with purposeful patience. Every eye in the room is locked on the brewing tempest, aware the next few moments may alter everything. The attorneys start inning new evidence, texts, emails, and ledger lines that show major financial decisions had been made in the dark to several wives. The deceit is enormous, and the judge's eyes get sharper as he examines each page. Kody tries to open his mouth and say something, but the burden of the secrets prevents the words from coming. He thought that his dominance over the finances and image of the family was safe, but now every step he takes is questioned, and every action second-guessed. Each piece of paper, each sentence, each look in this courtroom has the power to break up relationships it has taken decades to create. The first middle hook lands when the lead attorney is projecting an email onto the big screen. It's a private one from Kody to an unnamed financial planner, and they're talking about how to reroute money in such a way that it favors some family members above others. The courtroom gasps soundly. This was done intentionally, the attorney announced. The trust placed in the head of this family was abused, and millions were manipulated without the knowledge of those who should have been protected the most. Meri's face drains of color. How could he do that? To us? To the children? She whispers, voice trembling. Janelle clenches her fist, barely containing the eruption of rage bubbling inside her. Christine's eyes are steep, focused. She knows this moment could determine the trajectory of the family for years to come. Robyn's lips pressed together, subtle yet calculated, hinting at secrets she may have withheld or carefully documented. The second hook in the middle strikes. A judge turns a set of bank statements that reveal discrepancies so vast that they cannot be overlooked. These transactions are not only, the judge declares, they reveal intent. Someone went out of their way and intentionally planned these maneuvers to deceive the court and the other party. The room is heavy with tension, each heartbeat ringing through the hushed courtroom. Kody's face goes white. He realizes these secrets may destroy him, not only in terms of money, but in terms of his heart. The trust to hold is eroding before his very eyes, and the wives he thought would never leave him are now standing face with cold, hard facts. Each revelation tightens the noose of reality around Kody and the family, compelling them to face betrayals that have shadowed them. Meri finally rises, voice trembling but resolute. We were manipulated, we were deceived, and we will no longer be silent. Every document, every secret, every hidden transfer must be revealed. We deserve answers. Janelle takes her finger pointing Kody's direction. You believed never catch on. You believed that your kingdom could be above reproach. But the truth always managed to come to light. And now, Christine advances, her voice slicing the courtroom like, this isn't about money. This is about trust, respect, integrity, and those who have broken. Robyn's measured voice finally ends the tension. Icy in its accuracy. We know more than we say, and we will allow the facts themselves. But don't think for a moment. The ramifications will be dire. The courtroom holds its breath, as the judge leans forward, indicating introduction the last of evidence session. A set of secret contracts that may change division of millions and signal power with all eyes widen, all hearts pound. The room seems to be on the edge of an emotion. The judge slowly raises one contract, allowing it to float in the light for all to behold. This document, he says seriously, was deliberately. The contents hold the possibility to alter the outcome of this case. Every single one of his family has in what it states, and no one can consequence. Gasp murmurs ripple the courtroom. Kody's hands tremble slightly. Meri's tears spill freely now. Janelle's jaw tightens. Christine scribbles furious. Robyn remains, but her eyes gleam with a hint of anticipation. The stakes have never been higher, and every viewer watching the weight of impending revelation. The lawyers start to map out the ramification tracks, how they would reap money, change custody arrangements, and reveal coalitions that had been. The stress grows each minute, the tension piling up like a pressure about to. Kody's voice breaks at last as I didn't think anyone would know. But the courtroom does not lie. Meri blasts a glare and fierce tone. Didn't think, or didn't care. The judge holds up a calling calm, but his eyes reveal this is by no means. Every transaction, every choice, every document will be scrutinized to the nth. The next hearing will be pivotal. This courtroom tension is more than monetary. It's psychological, emotional, and personal. Nobody will walk out of here the same. As the session comes to an end, the wives look at one another, some with anger, some with incredulity, and some with steely resolve. Kody remains transfixed, knowing that the empire he constructed on vigilant control and deception is being dismantled bit by bit. The secrets that were so well concealed are now stepping into the cold light of examination, and there is no going back. The courtroom gradually clears, leaving the air thick with an expectation of what is to come. Cameras record every look, every shake, every tiny gesture, aware that the tale is far from finished. Viewers at home are left in suspense, waiting to see how the Brown family will swim through the deep waters of deceit, betrayal, and emotional chaos during the next session. One envelope remains unopened on the judge's desk, its contents unknown to everyone present. But the moment it is revealed, the consequences will ripple through the family, shaking alliances, exposing secrets, and leaving the Brown family forever changed. The courtroom feels heavier than ever, the air thick with anticipation, almost suffocating. Kody Brown fidgets in his chair, his fingers nervously drumming against the gleaming table, eyes darting to each of his wives. The secret envelope from the previous session is at last about to be opened, and everyone can sense that the moment can change everything. Lawyers' low whispers, quiet murmurs of onlookers, even the whir of cameras, all disappear into a chilling quiet as the judge slowly raises the flap. The judge's tone pierces the silence like a scimitar. What I am about to share may alter the course of this family for good. The envelope splits open, and the papers cascade out, making evident appalling letters, clandestine financial transactions, and intimate disclosures no one had anticipated reading. Millions of dollars, previously concealed from the wives, are now traced in raw detail. But the true shock is not cash, it's betrayal. Allegiances believed to be impenetrable are breaking down, and secrets that were supposed to remain hidden are fighting their way into the light. Who can be trusted? And who will still be standing when it all comes crashing down? Meri's hands tremble as she reaches for the first page, eyes scanning the words that feel like a punch to the chest. Janelle's face tightens in disbelief and anger. Christine leans forward, pen poised, as if documenting each word could somehow help her process the magnitude of the deception. Robyn sits quietly, eyes cold and calculating, almost as if she has anticipated this moment and is ready to strike. The judge's tone becomes serious. These exchanges show calculated manipulation, intended not just to deceive the court, but also to manipulate relationships in the family. The modus operandi is obvious, deceit at every step. The room seems to be holding its breath. Kody's face whitens. He knows the empire of trust and control he has constructed is crumbling. Each disclosure wounds deeper than finances. It reveals the secret cracks in this family, on the brink of shattering the ties they have struggled to uphold for so many years. The first middle hook lands when the lawyer for the wives points to a series of transactions. These were not errors, the lawyer states, voice steady and biting. They were deliberate, orchestrated, and implemented with knowledge that they would deceive and manipulate. This is betrayal at its most basic level. Meri stands, crying freely. We were in the dark. Each decision, each secret, how could you do that to us? Her voice shakes with a combination of heartbreak and rage. Janelle's fists clench at her sides, the battle in her blazing like fire. Christine writes in furious spurts, capturing the emotional agony as meticulously as the facts. Robyn's very calmness contributes to the tension, her eyes hard and unyielding. The second middle hook is when the judge drops another bombshell. A number of the clandestine deals were scheduled in alignment with key family milestones, so that Kody could shift attention while juggling finances. This wasn't merely financial deception, this was emotional manipulation, calculated and heartless. The judge elucidates. The courtroom gasps, the tension building to almost impossible heights. The deeper the investigation goes, the more it becomes clear that this family's trust has been systematically eroded, and the emotional fallout could be catastrophic. Kody finally finds his voice, deep and strained. I didn't mean for it to go this far, he confesses, looking at his wives, but the room shows no mercy. Meri's look is a glare, full of hurt. Janelle's jaw clenches with anger. Christine's eyes burn cold and hard, demanding to know what happened. Robyn keeps her composure, her mind likely working rapidly with strategy. The lawyers start bringing in more emails, texts and family members' internal correspondence, messages that reveal the silent alliances, quiet resentments, and clandestine agreements that have determined the inner dynamics of the family. With each disclosure, it's as if a bomb goes off in the room, destabilizing the trust further. Meri's voice cracks as she reads aloud from a message that appears to implicate Kody in deliberately hiding assets from certain wives. How could you? Was anything real? The courtroom is silent, the weight of her words hanging heavily in the air. Janelle gestures to another paper, voice indignant. You thought we would not catch on, Kody. But all these lies have a ripple effect, and now we are paying for it with your dishonesty. Her rage permeates the room, a volatile combination of betrayal, rage and brokenness. Christine advances, voice firm but biting. This has nothing to do with money. This is about trust, and broken trust cannot be quickly mended. Every family, every relationship, every connection, everything hangs in the balance here. Robyn's voice at last shatters the tension, serene but terrifying. We have the facts. The rest is for the court. But know this, those who have betrayed will pay consequences far beyond monetary restitution. Her words ripple shudders through the room. The judge leans forward, gavel raised. Far from over. Every file, every letter will be scrutinized. The emotional and monetary stakes are high, and I look for cooperation. The judge holds up one especially incriminating document, letting it hang in front of everyone. This letter, he announces sternly, is a deliberate effort to pit family members against one another, all in the service of accumulating more power and money in secret. This is not fraud. This is manipulation at its worst. Gasps ring through the courtroom. Kody collapses in his chair, understanding the sheer extent of what he has done. Meri quietly weeps, drowning in heartbreak. Janelle's fists are so tight they turn white at the knuckles. Christine writes frantically, drinking in the ramifications. Robyn doesn't flinch, but her eyes flash with calculating brilliance. She knows how to use this. Every revelation makes the cracks wider in the family, and they're forced to deal with betrayals they never could have imagined, and leave the viewer hooked on every tense moment. The lawyers sketch out the possible consequences: redistribution of assets, public embarrassment, and psychic repercussions that might last a lifetime. The tension is at a boiling point. Each look, each word, each movement a weighty thing. The Brown family must face a reality that might alter all they thought they knew about themselves and one another. Kody sits back, shaking, a glimpse of vulnerability on his face. I thought I was protecting the family, he says in a whisper. But the room is not kind. Meri shakes her head, tone firm. Protecting? By keeping everything secret? By playing on our emotions and our finances. This isn't protection. This is betrayal. The judge adjourns, but tension in the courtroom does not abate. The wives glare at one another, each grappling with the disclosures differently. Anger, sadness, resolve, calculation. Kody sees that dynamics of power have irreversibly changed, and the secrets which helped him orchestrate the narrative are going to wreck everything. As the courtroom clears, one envelope is still on the judge's desk, unopened. Its contents are a secret, but the suspense is agonizing. When it is finally open, it will reveal the final act of betrayal, one that will break the Brown family apart for good. The courtroom is charged with electricity, the tension so heavy it's almost palpable. Each chair appears electric with anticipation. Each eye is trained on the judge and the stack of remaining testimony. Kody Brown sits in his chair, tense, hands moist, as he looks at the last envelope that might undo the last strands of authority he believed he possessed. The wives sit in contrast, Meri shaking, Janelle pursed lips and angry, Christine sharp and intent, and Robyn, calm yet unmistakably calculating. The atmosphere crackles with anticipation, and even the press cameras seem to sense the drama before it erupts. The voice of the judge cuts through the silence. What you are going to see here is unprecedented. In this courtroom, what's inside this envelope presents the ultimate betrayal, one that jeopardizes not just the economic well-being of this family, but the very fabric of their relationships. Every secret file, every altered transaction, every falsehood will now be brought to light. And once that happens, nothing will ever be the same. The words hang suspended like a tempest brewing. Kody swallows, the years of silence weighing upon him like a boulder. Meri gasps, her eyes already welling up with tears. Janelle's hands fist, Christine leans in, eyes narrowed, pen poised to take down every incriminating detail. And Robyn's icy calculating gaze hints that perhaps she had seen this coming all along. The judge slowly opens the envelope, and documents and letters so incriminating that the room collectively gasps. They reveal conscious manipulation of funds, clandestine affiliations, and individual backstabbing that have been concealed for more than a decade. Each piece of information is a body blow, each one more disheartening than the previous. The truth has a tendency to bring down even the greatest facades, and this family is about to experience the full weight of its touch. The wives' attorneys come forward, their voices cracking with contained anger. Your Honor, these records indicate not just financial deceit but emotional manipulation by the patriarch of this family. Every transaction, every secret letter, was designed to cheat and manipulate. The courtroom is abuzz with whispers. Flash photography captures the shock on the faces of Kody and the wives, their feelings undiluted and exposed. The first middle hook strikes as the judge reads aloud a particularly shocking email, written in Kody's hand, which outlines a plan to redistribute millions to certain family members, while keeping others in the dark. The courtroom gasps. Meri's face turns pale. Janelle's eyes flash with anger. Christine scribbles furiously, and Robyn's calm stare hints at knowledge she may have withheld for strategic purpose. Kody attempts to defend himself, his voice shaking. I thought I was keeping everyone safe. I didn't want anyone to feel left behind. But words fail him under the burden of the evidence. The room is merciless. The wives are no longer children to be counseled. They are adults, betrayed and well aware of the subterfuge. The emotional suspense builds as the judge goes on. There are communications evidencing a purposeful effort to turn family members against one another, to inspire distrust, and to exercise control. This is beyond financial mismanagement. It's a betrayal of the worst sort. Each of today's revelations strains the family's fabric, and each of us hovers over the edge of our seat, anticipating the consequences. Meri finally stands, voice shaking but firm. We trusted him. We trusted us. And now all of this has been destroyed. The lies, the deception, those end now. Her words echo through the courtroom, a raw protest of pain and strength. Janelle moves forward, fists doubled, voice cutting. You thought you could manipulate it all, Kody. But the truth doesn't warp to anyone. We are finished being manipulated. Christine interjects, cold and firm. Accountability is the way ahead. All choices, all lies, all secret files. They all require justice. Robyn's soothing voice interrupts the growing anarchy. We have learned more than has been disclosed. And soon enough, the ultimate truth will preclude any question. The repercussions shall reach those who have lied, and the lessons shall be taught. The courtroom waits in anticipation, as the judge gets ready to drop the last bombshell of proof, a set of documents that detail the extent of financial manipulation and secret alliance. The room falls silent. People feel like the outcome of the next few minutes will decide Kody's fate and that of the whole family situation. The judge holds up the final document. This is evidence that lays bare the full extent of fraud, indicating who gained and who lost. The repercussions of that will be extreme, and the choices made today will be long-lasting. Gasp ripples through the courtroom. Kody's hands shake. Meri quietly weeps, reeling from the extent of betrayal. Janelle's fists are clenched white, Christine's gaze cold and determined, and Robyn is unflappable, her measured look indicating that she has a plan for the revelation. The lawyers lay out the consequences, asset reallocation, potential legal repercussion, and most significantly, the emotional impact of the deception. The judge stresses that family trust might never be regained, and the very ties that bound them together might permanently shatter. Kody reclines, voice cracking. I thought I was doing what was right. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Meri cuts in harshly, sobbing, right thing. You kept all this from us. You toyed with our lives. Our trust. Do you know the harm? Janelle speaks up, shaking voice firm. We will no longer let manipulation rule our lives. This is over. Christine's pen stops as she observes the developing confrontation. Then she speaks, unhurried and deliberate. This isn't about forgiveness. This is about truth. And the truth cannot be denied. Robyn gets up at last, her voice cold in its crystalline clarity. We've seen it all. We've waited. And now the truth has come. All actions have repercussion. Every betrayal will be attended to. The courtroom is charged with emotion. The atmosphere is charged with tension, anger, and naked pain. Kody sits hunched over, the empire he had constructed on secrecy and domination falling apart piece by piece. The wives once under his sway now stand as one in the search for truth and justice. The drama is at hand, the time when deceptions come to a head, and the family is faced with the repercussions of decades of dishonesty. Everyone in the audience is tense, betrayed, and facing the inevitability of repercussion. The judge finally bangs the gavel. The court will examine all evidence carefully. Decisions will be made on restitution, responsibility, and transparency. But one thing is certain, trust has been lost, and it will be hard if not impossible to repair. The courtroom starts to clear, but the emotional gravitas can. Meri, Janelle, and Christine share looks, firm, determined, and unyielding. Robyn's placid presence implies she's got the advantage. Yet the family dynamics will never be the same again. Kody sits in stony silence, considering the repercussions of his action. The camera pauses on the judge's chamber's unopened envelope, said to hold proof that would change everything. The tension is intolerable. Who will win? Who will lose? And what will be left of the Brown family when the truth finally comes fully into light? As the episode ends, it leaves us with one question. If you were standing in the Brown family what would you do when trust is broken and secrets are revealed? Tell us in the comments below. How would you deal with this betrayal? The final curtain falls on this dramatic courtroom drama, leaving viewers emotionally spent, breathless, and crying out for answers. Each deception, each betrayal, and each dramatic reveal has pushed the Brown family to a crossroads from which there can be no going back.